So why is it that although disruptive innovation is so great, so few companies seem to have the ability to master it? And in fact, if you go back to the stream of research on which this is based by Harvard Business School professor Clayton Christensen, you see that the first book he wrote is called The Innovator's Dilemma, describing how very hard it can be for even the best-run incumbents to drive disruptive innovation. We see four basic problems. When an incumbent sees something that looks like a disruptive innovation, they think first, this is a crummy technology. Think about how Sony responded when it first saw an MP3 player. MP3 players had lower quality sound than you might get on a good Sony product. So Sony's engineers said, you know what? We're just not interested in working in this. It is trivial technology. Then they think it's a crummy customer. It goes after a customer that we don't want to serve. Think about that Nintendo Wii product. One of its big targets right now is 25 to 49-year-old women, people who are very far out of the core of Sony and Microsoft's view of what really makes a great video game consumer. Then you have people say this is a crummy market. The market's so small it doesn't matter. Think about how Digital Equipment Corporation responded when companies began to pioneer the personal computer market. Digital Equipment Corporation made billions of dollars selling high-end mini computers to corporations. The personal computer, it was used as a toy. Digital Equipment looks at this and says, this market, it just doesn't matter to me. It's trivial, I don't need to invest in the technology. Finally, the incumbent will look at this and say it's just a crummy business model. Think about how Eastman Kodak felt when it first saw digital imaging. It didn't come late to the game. In fact, the first prototype of a digital camera was born in Kodak's labs in 1975. The engineer who created it said, you know, all the engineers thought this was pretty neat, but the company said, gosh, a camera without film in it? Let's not tell anyone about this. Because a company that historically made tremendous margins on silver halide film wasn't that motivated to try and accelerate its own demise by going after a business model that through its lens looked unattractive. So incumbents, when they first see it, think the technology's all wrong, the customer's all wrong, the market doesn't matter, and the business model doesn't match. Companies have to get past this blinders, or these blinders, if they're going to really realize the power of disruptive change.